It is true that in these year new regulations, the part will remain quite stable and similar to last year's. What can we do in the rear part to compensate this load too? And also, I would like to ask the other two engineers. By definition, we have 82 horsepowers for KERS, and for the reduction of energy waste, we can recover some of them with a rear mobile flap. What is more important for you? It is true that the front flap and the front part of the car, based on the regulations, was not so much limited as it happened for the rear part. So we have worked more on the rear parts, on the diffuser, on the discharge, and in general on rear tires. And when having said that, the performance of the front flap is not only balancing the rear part. So the front flap emits some very complicated vortex, and what makes it good or not is the interaction of the flap and the rear tires. So we have to act on the front flap to compensate the differences with the rear part of the car. Talking about the mobile rear flap, we will undoubtedly have some variations, modifications in terms of different configurations of the car, because we're talking about general configurations, aerodynamic configuration, and maybe some mechanical one. Because this flap and qualifications will be used massively, will be used a lot and freely. So it will be used on all straights, and it will be used on the different sections, in the different sections where drivers don't really need maximum load. This flap is also very important in terms of strategy, not so much for races, but rather for weekends, because it can be freely used in qualifications, but it cannot be always used during the race. Therefore, this will force teams to evaluate their choices in terms of different configurations and strategies for qualifications of for races. In 2009, we saw that two similar cars, despite 60 kilowatts is a lot, with these cars, the activation of KERS was not enough to ensure overtaking. So KERS plus flap compared to a car only using KERS or none of them, well, this will make a difference. So relative conditions of speed will ensure overtaking in this situation. And as Aldo was saying, this will depend on the strategy, on the car configuration, and basically, probably, in my opinion, well, KERS and flap should ensure overtaking. Do you think that your car will be the best one in this GP? This is the target your president gave you. Why are you so confident that this will happen? We have to really admit that our president gives us clear targets. And we have very clear targets that our president gave us. And also we have fixed some very ambitious development objectives in terms of aerodynamics, but also in terms of car systems, engine, and other things.